Mhm. Alrighty, it's recording. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Healing and Process Addiction Group Therapy. I am the facilitator for this group. I will be in charge of making sure that everything is kept within the time frame and that everyone has a chance to speak. This means that I will sometimes have to cut someone off in the middle of their speech, but please understand that I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just I want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to speak and have their voice heard during this session, okay? So we're going to get started with the session, and first we're going to start with the agenda for today, and then we're going to talk about the purpose of the group, how the group processes, and getting to know each other, okay? So the agenda for today is we're going to have an icebreaker, and then we're going to have a debrief. We're going to also have a purpose of the group, and we're going to have a getting to know you session. And then we're going to have the discussion and an activity, and then we're going to close. Okay? Is that good with everyone?
That's good with me.
All righty. So, the purpose of this group is to provide support, motivation, and education on the recovery process. This group will give everyone the opportunity to observe issues encountered by others and problem-solving methods. This group is to empower all members by giving encouraging assistance and feedback to each other. The information gained here will help to build a sense of structure and routine in each member's life. This group will meet every week on Monday for 2 hours from 6 till 8 p.m. over a period of 12 sessions. The group will be done via Zoom as a result of COVID-19. This group session will be recorded, and I will keep all participants' identities confidential. The process will be an icebreaker question in the beginning, a debriefing, how the week went, and then also you're going to have content discussions and activities, and then we're going to have a conclusion question at the end. This group will be going over a variation of topics that fall under the addiction. This group is considered a closed group. This means that everyone is asked to be within an area that does not have anyone else that is not a part of this group present. We want to make sure that everything that happens in this group stays in this group. We want everyone to feel comfortable with sharing their ideas and their thoughts without having to worry about the information being spread to someone they do not know or see here in this group. Can I receive a verbal confirmation that everyone will make sure to protect what is being said here and not repeat it to anyone else?
I verbally agree that I will not repeat.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank
I
you.
won't tell anybody.
Thank you. Thank you for your confirmation. Now, let us get to know each other. So, can you tell me your name and the reason and your expectation for this group?
Hi, my name is Allie, and I really am looking forward to being a part of this group and getting some type of healing for my problems that I have. And I really, really enjoy being part of sessions like this, group therapy, because a friend of mine was taking group therapy and she did so well in it, and she was able to come get better and from her addictions. And so she had encouraged me to go ahead and to do that. And so
Oh,
I'm gonna be a part of this group, and I'm really looking forward to getting healing and getting some pointers on how I can overcome
okay.
my.
Alrighty. Thank you, Allie. Um, Thank you for sharing. We are glad to have you here today, and we hope that you will be able to continue to come and bring your presence.
Thank you very
Is
much.
very much appreciated. So, the next person, please.
Name's Cyan, and I'm just here to help with my addiction, get help with my addiction. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Cyan. Last but not
Well,
least.
I'm here. I'm just here. I don't think you all can do anything for me, but I'm here. I was told that I have to join your session, so I'm here. I don't think I'm addicted. I just like to drink, but I don't think I'm addicted. I mean, if a person does what they like, that's considered an addiction. You know what? Anyways, I'm here because they said I have to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Can we get your name, please?
Okay, my name is Ray.
Okay, thank
Um,
you, Ray, for coming. I appreciate that you're here, even though you feel that you don't really need to be here. Alrighty. And I do want to make sure that I had said my name. My name is Dominique Anson, and I'm going to be your facilitator. So basically, I will be the person who makes sure I keep the time, and also I want to make sure that everyone has opportunity to speak. Just making sure that I state that because I don't remember if I did or not. Alrighty. So next, I want to go over the rules. Now, every group, we want to make sure that we have rules for everyone to follow. That way, we don't step on each other's toes. Okay? So, I have two rules that I have set aside, and I just want your feedback if you believe that these are good rules that can be for this group. Okay? So, the first rule is that everyone has a right to their viewpoint and opinions. What do you guys think about that rule?
Well, I like that rule because, I have a lot of opinions, and I don't mind being able to express my opinions. Um, and I want to be able to say what I think and not have anyone interrupt or say they don't agree. And I know that, we live in a world where people have all kinds of opinions. And so I am open-minded, and I really enjoy listening to other people's opinions, although I may not necessarily agree with everyone's opinion.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Miss Allie.
what was the question again?
The question is, do you agree with the rule that everyone has a right to their own viewpoints and opinions?
He said, yes, I agree with that, because I'm telling you, I shouldn't have to come to this thing, because I have a right to drink if I want to drink. I just don't understand, they're just saying that I have to come to some kind of counseling, some rehab, all kind of crazy stuff. But well, yeah, okay, I agree that we are entitled to an opinion. I mean, to our own viewpoint.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Cyan, would you like to say
Yeah,
anything?
well, it makes sense and all. So, I guess I agree with them.
All righty. Well, thank you very much. And what about the second rule? The second rule is to not speak when others are speaking. Do you guys agree with that rule? Yes?
I agree. Yes, yes, I agree because I don't like it when someone interrupts me. That's what I was saying earlier about having my opinion. And then one time I was talking to someone in the store, and whilst I was talking to the cashier, this person behind me began to interrupt me and try to stop me from talking, and they didn't agree with what I was saying. That was so
Mm.
rude. And so I'm just
It's
saying that,
very rude that that person did that, Miss Allie. It's very rude.
yes,
And I'm glad that you agree that
thank you.
we need to wait our turn and not
Correct,
speak
correct.
over other people. Alrighty. And Cyan, did you agree? I don't remember seeing you nod yes or no. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for that. So we will be diving into discussions and activities. But before that, I wanted to also ask, do you guys have any rules that you would like to be added onto this? No? Alrighty. Okay. And let me also make sure I explain these rules. So the first one is that everyone has a right to their viewpoints and opinions. And so this means that everyone has a right to think as they may, and they are not allowed to push any of their ideas or opinions onto others. And the second rule is to not speak when others are speaking. So there will be a chance for everyone to speak, so please wait your turn. If you feel that you are going to forget what you want to say, by all means, please write it down so that won't happen. Okay? Alrighty. So let us dive into the discussion and activity. There are a lot of discussions about addiction on whether it is a disease or a choice. So I want to ask you, as a group, what do you think? Do you think that addiction is a disease or a choice?
Well, I think it's a disease.
I'm sorry, you're muted, Miss Allie.
Well, okay, thank you so much. What I was saying was, I think it is a disease. I need to be cured. I need to have some form of possibly some medications to help me. Um, I was visiting a friend of mine. I have a lot of friends, and that have all kinds of diseases. Like one is my friend, she's diabetic, and she has to have medications to help her get better. And so I think that with like my type of addiction, that I could possibly use some form of medicine to help me get off of my addiction. I do take I don't know. There's got to be something out there that could help me get rid of my desire and my taste for Roxy's. But I think I need some other type of medications that can help me, because it's definitely a disease.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining how this can be a disease, and how even for you believe that it's a disease even for yourself, because you would like the help that
Yes,
for other medications to help you stop taking drugs.
correct.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
What's the question again?
The question is, do you feel that addiction is a disease or a choice?
Well, I think addiction, oh man. Addiction, I think it's a disease. Yes, it sure is a disease.
Okay.
because if I can think and choose to do something, that means I'm not addicted to it. That means I can choose not to do whatever I want to do. I also, so I think it's a disease, and if you have an addiction, that means you have a disease. And I know that I don't have a disease. You know, I they just want me to come here to do some time and some counseling and some kind of whatever you call this thing here, but I don't have a disease, you know I made a choice to drink, and drinking is fun. Oh man, I love to drink, you
So
know
you're saying that you have a choice, you made the choice to drink,
yes,
but addiction is a disease.
yes.
Okay. And you don't have the disease. Okay.
No, I don't,
All
but I
righty.
love to
Thank
drink.
you. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. Okay. And what about you, Cyan? Do you agree that addiction is a disease or a choice?
It depends on how into you are. I believe it's like a choice that goes into disease.
You think it's a, I'm sorry, you're kind of breaking up on my end. Will you repeat that?
I was saying, I think it's the choice that
So you said that you think, correct me if I'm wrong, you say you think that addiction is a choice?
yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. And so for those, so I see that there is a split in this understanding or beliefs of addiction. And so I have this little PDF that I want to share and show you guys. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see what is addiction?
No.
No. Okay, hold on. Let me stop sharing and share again. There we go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes. What is addiction? And okay, so it says, what is addiction? Addiction is a disease involving continued use of a substance despite serious substance-related problems such as loss of control, overuse, health problems, or negative social consequences. So, the signs of addiction. Signs of addiction can go from the cravings to spending more time on the use instead of other things that you probably used to do. Then there are the social problems, which are decrease in going to important activities or social events. And there are also the major, not fulfilling major obligations such as going to work or going to school. Then there is the physical aspect, which is the not building of the tolerance. Your body builds up a tolerance for the drug, and so you need a higher dosage before you can get that craving or feed that craving that your body has. Then there are also experience of withdrawals, which can be physical, like having colds or shivers or hallucinations, different types of physical withdrawal symptoms. So, some added facts that there are is that addiction is a disease and it can cause changes in the brain structure and functioning. So it is not caused by poor willpower or character flaws. It is something that is out of your control, out of anyone's control who is addicted, okay? So addiction can grow slowly and isn't always easy to see. Many people with addiction continue to function in some parts of their lives but have problems in other areas. Now, there are types of relapse, means returning to a regular source substance use after a period of being sober. And a lapse is usually a one-time use that you accidentally or someone has accidentally gone back and used it only one time. And relapses can happen at any time during recovery, which is a lifelong process, while lapse are just, like I said, a one-time thing. Now, addiction treatments include individual therapy, group therapy, support groups, and medication. So what you're here at today is considered a group therapy. And that's basically led by a therapist. Members are encouraged and support one another to make a meaningful life changes. Okay. And I see we have a new member. Hello, new member. I guess they're not there at the moment.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Can I ask you to open your video? Is that a possibility? We would like to see your lovely face. Hi. We had introductions earlier. You kind of missed that, but can I get your name and what you look forward to in this group?
My name is Anthony, and I look forward to learning how to overcome some of the things in battling.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Anthony. My name is Dominique, and I'm your facilitator. So that means that I will be making sure that time is kept. That means that when I will keep us on schedule. Also, I will make sure that when anyone is talking, everyone has a chance. So if I have to cut you off, just a heads up, I'm not being rude. I am just making sure that everyone has opportunity to give their voice or have their voice heard, okay? And also, I would like to also state that we're trying to keep a confidential group because this group is a closed group. So if I can ask you to make sure anytime we come and meet together that you are in a room that does not, that someone else that is not inside of our group is not in that room with you. We want to make sure that we protect each other's information that we're talking about. That way everyone feels safe to share, okay? Can I get a verbal confirmation on that?
Okay.
Thank you very much. All righty. Now I'm going to go back to the group therapy that I was just doing. And we went over rules as well, which I'm going to show you real fast before we continue on. I want to make sure I catch you up to speed. So the rules were, the first one is that everyone has a right to their viewpoints and opinions. And the second rule is that to not speak when others are speaking, okay? All righty. So, ooh, oh my goodness, where'd it go? I am zooming past it. Okay, so now let us dive into another topic. Okay. First, actually, what are your thoughts on the addiction flyer that I just shared with you guys? What are your thoughts on that?
Thoughts on what exactly?
Let me bring it back up so you can see it. This. What is addiction? So we were going over this. We were talking about how addiction is a disease and how it can change functions of the brain and how it physically affects socially, mentally. And so we were just going over some of this. And so I just want to know, what are your thoughts on this information that you received?
Well, I already thought that that addiction is a disease and that I need to have some medication to help me get over this. I mean, I've been through so many therapies before, and I've learned a lot. And but and I know that I have a problem. I'm not um, saying that I don't, but I need help with more than just attending group therapies. But I'm here because I know that it's a process that I must go through. Now, I was just wondering, when people have other addictions, and they don't want to admit that they have an addiction, I wonder if they are able to get help, because I have this friend that I go shopping with a lot, and she doesn't want to believe that she has an addiction because she's always in the store shopping. And I try to tell her that, when they tell me that I have an addiction because I'm always taking these drugs, but there are other people who have addictions too, and they don't want to accept that they have addictions. And so I tell them that. And so, and then the other day I was walking
So
with a friend to the,
I hear what you're saying. I hear where, so you're saying that you do agree that addiction is a disease, and then you were saying how you wanted the medication, like we spoke earlier, how you said you were wanting the medication to
right,
help
right,
you
right.
with your addiction,
Mhm.
and also that you had a question about what are, for those who have addiction but don't believe they have it, will they be able to get the help that they want or need?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
the answer is unfortunately no. Because if you don't have the mindset and the willingness to understand that you have this, if you haven't accepted that you have addiction, then you won't go through, or you won't make the starting to change.
Mhm. I told my friend that. I told her. I learned that in my group therapies that I've been coming to. See, I told her, I said, I learned in my group therapy that if you do not admit that you have a problem, you are not going to get any better. And you have to understand that you have a disease in order to get better. When you
Well,
go, when you have
that's
this,
very good that you've been sharing all of what you were learning with others.
right.
And that's very important. That helps you to not only reach out to others and help them, but also to reiterate what you have learned. So that's very good. Thank you for sharing. Has anyone else had something happen like that before? Have they shared? Have you guys been able to share with anyone else what you are learning?
No.
No,
No?
not really.
Not really?
No, because
Okay.
it's good stuff that I will, just keep and remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that a lot of it doesn't apply to me. So, I'm just taking information. Maybe sometime I'll find somebody who needs it and I'll make sure they get it and I'll tell them about it. But right now, I don't think I need it. I like to drink, but I'm not addicted. That's not a disease for me. But
So I keep hearing that. You keep saying that you're not addicted and this is not a disease for you. And you're just here because they told you. Correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I want to ask you, why, if you don't have to share, but I want to ask you, what were the reasons of why they said or why they sent you here?
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't ask that, but since you asked, I guess I have to tell. Um, well, I was out with my buddies, and we had a few drinks, and I got into some kind of accident, and so the cop said that I'm gonna have to have some kind of therapy, so I'm here.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, even though you don't want to be here. I'm glad you're here because you survived that accident and you have another day to live. So I'm glad you're here. And thank you for sharing. You didn't have to share, but thank you for sharing, okay? Alrighty. Does anyone else would like to share about what their thoughts on what we have just gone over? No? Alrighty. So let me stop sharing this and I will go to the next portion. Okay. Keep starting over on me. Okay. So now we've learned that addiction is a disease. And so I want us to now dive into this discussion about addiction on the different impacts of language, okay? So when you hear that addiction is a disease rather than addiction is a choice, how do you feel about that? About the wording? Because some words are influenced by our thoughts and our actions, and sometimes we have this bad connotation or versus this good when we hear certain words. So I want to hear, what are your thoughts on the differences between that? Addiction is a disease and addiction is a choice. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't like the idea that addiction is a choice, because then it makes me look like I am doing it that I was, I'm starting to get off the drugs a little. And when I was heavily into it. If you would tell me that it's a choice, I would get really upset because I didn't feel like I had a choice. I didn't feel like I was in control of what was happening to me. Now I'm in a little bit more I telling me that I have a disease, seeing it from that angle helps me to feel like I can be healed. When you when you have a disease, you know, you can heal. There's a possibility that you can find a cure. But when you're saying that I have a choice and I feel like I am not getting the opportunity to choose because I need it, I have to have it. If I don't have it, I get sick and I start feeling really depressed and I start having all of these problems. So with, and with the previous therapies that I've been attending and having a better understanding that what I have is a disease gives me that inner hope that I can be cured, which is what I'm hoping to get, because I want down inside of me, I want to return back to my family. I don't want to hurt them anymore, you know, and I have a very supportive family and very supportive friends who also see it that way. But so telling me that it's my choice, that my addiction is a choice, just really is not gonna, I don't want to hear those words. It's not gonna be a good thing for me.
Okay. Alrighty.
Addiction, huh? Well, it does really sound bad to think that someone can have a disease though that they can't control, you know. And when that officer, you're telling me that, I have a problem, I can't, I just don't see what I have as being no condition like someone with a disease, you know. And somebody who was an addiction, definitely someone with a disease, I would think. Because I'm thinking that they should not be able to control the situation. It is just that, they're just going through the ride of time, not being able to control their self.
Mm.
But I can imagine people not wanting to admit, that they have a situation, especially if they think it's considered as a disease. But I know of a fact that my situation is not a disease, though, because I think I can walk away anytime I wish. I have not proven any point where I could not just you know, not decide to drink.
Mm-hmm.
But I can
Alrighty.
imagine, if you have the word disease associated with something that's, you're accused of or blamed to have been, a part of, then you may not want to be a part or identify with it.
And I can see what your point from your point of view of how, because it is considered as a disease, how people or someone or others could say, I don't really have that. I don't have addiction, because they don't want to be associated with a disease. So, Anthony, add some what are your thoughts on that point? That people won't want to be associated with a disease. What are your thoughts on that?
Nobody wants to be told that, there's something wrong with them, like disease per se. But as Miss Mitchell said, sometimes when they tell you that there's a choice, then well, because it doesn't always feel like it's the choice.
Mhm.
Sometimes it feels like, oh, I just have to do this. I just have to do this. Because if I don't, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know.
Mhm.
So being able to describe it as a disease really helps define it and helps you know that this is something that now I can begin to find help for or fix step by step instead of just a choice of, oh, I'm the problem,
Mm.
and putting all the blame on yourself and trying, failing, trying again, failing, and falling into other problems like depression per se and whatnot
Okay.
because you feel like you're failing yourself. So,
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you. It it does give a better meaning than to have it be seen as to have addiction seen as a choice. It has a not a better meaning, but a better sounding to it. To have it stated as a disease and not a choice. Um, Cyan, I haven't heard anything from you. Would you like to say anything? Would you like to add to that? Or you can answer the original question.
Addiction, um, placing it as a disease does sound much better than saying it is a choice because like um the rest of them said, sometimes you don't feel like you have control of it, and to say you that it was your choice to do it does not sound appropriate for their case.
Hmm, okay. Well, thank you for that. So, let me ask, why do you believe, or why do you think there are some words that are considered bad and others are considered good when it comes to addiction?
Well, because if you say that I choose to take the drugs over and over and over again, knowing that it's harming me and that it's harming my family, then it makes me look like I'm a bad person. And I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. I went to school. I, you know, I got my degree. I was a nurse. I was working in, top position in the hospital, and it was just a lot of things were happening, and I found myself just really having. Are you able to see and hear me?
I can see and hear you.
Okay. I found myself needing it was just so stressful. And anyway, I just started doing what I knew could help me, and I just ended up with this problem that I have. And then with COVID coming on and seeing people dying and just going through so much stress and just taking this to help me get through. And I just found myself just needing to have these extra pills. I'm not a bad person. It was just to help me. It was to help me. So I didn't choose to hurt my family. I was helping myself get through all of the stress and just so much happening to my life.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm sorry that the stress was so hard on you. I'm sorry that, especially with COVID happening, with all those deaths going on. I'm very sorry about that.
Very stressful.
It is very stressful. It is a very stressful time.
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Okay. What's the question again?
the question was, why are there some words considered bad and others are considered good in the addiction aspect?
Well, it has to do with the image. You got to protect the image. No one wants to be associated with something that is bad. So something that's other people gonna look down on you and make you, get the impression as if you're no longer, you know, valued in society anymore. So I do believe that's probably would be a reason. But like I said, I don't have that disease now. I'm just here because I'm told that I have to be here. I think I better come here than to go to jail. I think that's a better choice. Don't you think? Well, I think so.
Okay.
But I would say the image. You got to protect your image, at all costs.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. And what about you, Anthony? Do you agree that about the image, that the bad and the good words are in a way connected with image? So how we see the words are connected to how it will affect our image. Do you agree with that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, some different words have different effects on us and our thoughts. And you know the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me.
Yes.
Was completely wrong because words do hurt. And when told the wrong words, when, battling addiction, it does affect us. It does.
Mhm.
In worst cases, it can lead to some terrible decisions.
Mm.
So, yes, I do think there are bad and good words, for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. There is some realness to what you said, that there are words when said to people can make or break them, and it can either turn them to drugs or turn them away from it. And so thank you for sharing that. It's very important for us to remember that. All right, anyone else want to share anything? No.
I'm not bad. I'm not a bad person. I just want everyone to know I'm not a bad person. I just have a disease.
That's right. That's correct. You aren't a bad person. This is a disease, and you're striving to beat this disease. So that's very good. Okay. Now I want us to take the time to do this activity. So I want us to make a list of words. I want you to make a list of words, at least 5 words in your head, um, or write it down, whichever one, that you feel is strongly associated with substance use. Okay? When you think of your substance use, your personal substance use, what are 5 words? Think of 5 words, but we're kind of running out of time, so we're gonna only do 3. We're only gonna say 3 words. So in fact, just think of 3 words. Think of 3 words that are strongly associated with substance use. Okay. And when you're
Control. Oh, did I interrupt?
yes, you did.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for apologizing. Okay. So let me finish giving the instructions and then you can go first, okay? So when you're finished finding your when you finish thinking of the list of words, the 3 words, I want you to explain how you can use those words to either harm or support others. Okay? So, Miss Allie, were you done? You wanted to share?
I thought of the word control
Mhm.
because that's how I feel my addiction. That's what I feel about my addiction. It controls my life a lot.
Mm.
It controls my relationships. It controls a lot of my decisions that I make. Did I have to come up with another word, or was it just 3
Just
words?
2 more.
2 more.
2 more words.
2 more about addiction. Bad.
Bad.
Yes,
Control
bad.
and bad.
Control and bad.
Mhm.
Addictions are bad.
Mhm.
It's just I've known a lot of this, and it's terrible that I am in the same situation that I've seen people in before. It's bad. It
Mhm.
it is so hard to get over it.
Mhm. I'm so sorry, Miss Allie, that you're feeling or that you had to go through this. I'm so sorry. Does anyone else would like to share while Miss Allie gets herself together? Yes.
I'll go ahead. I'm not sure if I understand your question very correctly.
Well, the question is that think of at least 3 words that is strongly associated with your substance use. So, okay, you understand? Okay.
All right, I'll go with that. Well, party, woohoo! You know,
Okay.
you gotta have some drinks at the party, and then when you hang out with your friends, you gotta share some good mood too. You gotta hang out with your friends and just lively the vibes. And then sometimes you just have to go with the flow of things. Association. You just gotta go with the flow. You can't go to somebody invite you to an event or an activity, and then they give you some wine or some that's smooth. Oh man, I'm telling you, those are some good stuff. Some the
Okay.
smooth stuff. You can't just sit around like you're some party pooper. You got to get involved and be a part of what's happening. You know, but
Okay.
sometimes everyone can't hold their stuff. And it just happened to be me that day.
Oh,
And just-
and what other words? What are 2 words? Can you think
No,
of?
I was saying the 3 words were party. You go to a party, you got to
Ah.
drink. You
Okay.
hang out with your friends. You drink too. And then when you're part of certain elite group, you got to show that you belong. So you go with the flow of the group too.
Okay.
So I mean, what can I say?
Alrighty. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. So your word is party, and Miss Allie's words are control and bad. And what about you, Anthony? Is there any words do you think of?
No,
No, you can't think of any words? You want to piggyback on any of the words that were said?
probably.
I thought of another word.
Oh, we remember we're not going to jump
Oh,
in on others.
sorry, I inter.
Mhm. Go ahead, Anthony.
It's to describe our addiction, right?
That strongly associates with substance use. So any word that whenever you think of your drug use, whenever you think of doing any types of drugs, what word do you strongly think of?
Want, need.
Want, need. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, Miss Allie, you were trying to say something.
I was thinking of loss.
Loss. Okay.
Yes. Addiction causes loss of trust, loss of friendships, loss of connection with family members,
Mm-hmm.
loss of job,
Mm,
loss.
alrighty. And these words, I'm hearing a lot of, well, I heard a lot of positive words towards substance use, such as the partying, the want and the need of it. And then the opposite side was the negative association with substance use, was the control and how bad it was, and the loss that it made Miss Allie feel. And so it goes to show you that there are different, everyone has a different journey. And each journey has a different word that is associated with their journey. And so it just goes to show you that even though you guys are here for this addiction group therapy, doesn't mean that you're all going through the same thing. Right? And you see things differently. Okay. Alrighty. Does anyone want to add anything else to that? No. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you for sharing. It was very nice to hear everyone's thoughts during this group session. I want to ask once again, are there any questions that anyone has? A yes or no? Or
Will you be sending out the next link to let us know when we have our next group session?
yes, I will. I will make sure that the link gets sent out the night before, okay? So that Sunday, I will send out another link for you guys to jump on Monday again. Does anyone have any concerns? None? Alrighty. I do have one last, oh, yes.
No, I think you're doing a good job.
Oh,
You know, I've listened to what you're doing, and I think you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work.
why, thank you very much. Well, anybody else has any questions or concerns? No? Alrighty. Well, I do have one last question before we end this session. And that is, I want to hear at least, well, I want to hear one word on what you want to achieve in your recovery or in your journey.
Reconciliation with my family. Although they have been very supportive to me, there are some who have become very angry with me and hurt because of my choices. And I would like to reconcile.
Okay.
I would like to regain some respect.
Overcoming.
Overcoming. Okay. Wow. It's just amazing listening to everyone. The respect, the reconciliation, the overcoming. It's just a broad spectrum of different things that are different words that you would like to accomplish in this journey. So keep that in mind until the next time we meet. Thank you for your time today. I treasured all of your insights on this topic. I hope to see you again next week. Please have a wonderful evening and the rest of your week. Goodbye.